Hey everybody, good morning. Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm just starting my broadcast, so I'll wait for you guys to join me. Just checking to make sure right now that I am live, and I am, so that's good. And make sure I've got sound, so I'm just going to test that. Excellent. Okay. So, oh, hi Connie. Hi Kim. Welcome you guys. Wish my picture was straight. Let me just fix that. There we go. That's less wonky. Good morning, Jacqueline. Well, it got less wonky and now it's wonky again. Goodness, it's almost like maybe my little arm that I hold my camera is a little wonky this morning. No wonder, eh? Gosh, I know we gained an hour's sleep, but why does it feel like we lost 10? I don't know. Hi, Carly. Hi, Trisha. Hello. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness, from Minnesota. Hi, Connie from Minnesota. Okay, guys. Wow, for some reason, it used to take about 3 minutes for people to find me, and now people are joining quite quickly after 10 o'clock, so that's great. Thanks for coming. Okay. Just wait one more, not even a minute. A minute's like when you say just one more minute. It's actually, I'm just going to wait 20 more seconds or so, and then we'll get started this morning. So how did everybody survive if you have a time change? Not everyone changes their clocks. So I always find it really, really hard. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Teresa. All right. Well, let's get started. So a couple of things. Good morning, Diane. Morning, Mo. A couple of things I wanted to just say before I get started. Let's start with hello. I'm Allison Solvent, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in a suburb of Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. And so thanks so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. And really appreciate just feedback that you give me live when we're doing our lives, because we have fun. Now, in case you didn't see my video from Thursday last week, I would like to just extend another invitation. If you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up!, it can be a little scary, right? Like, oh, I don't want to become, it's like they're going to recruit me. It sounds like the army, but it's not. It's more like a membership, like Costco. So you buy your Costco card and you go into Costco and you can buy products and they're at a discount, right? They're less money than if you bought them in a grocery store. And so it's a similar thing with Stampin' Up! So think of it as buying a starter kit, which is like your membership card. And when you get that membership card, you can belong to a large group of demonstrators from around the world, but a very specific group called Canada Inks Up. That's my group. And we would love to have you join us because we have an awesome community. Right, Jacqueline? We have an awesome community. Right, Marjorie? Yeah, we've got a great community of stampers. So if you look at, if this is for Canadians, by the way, but if you look at your wish list and your wish list has $100, like you're going to buy something worth $100, why not think about purchasing the starter kit? It's $100, but you get $165 of product. So you're getting way more product for the same price. And then while you're a member, you will receive 20% discount. So something to think about. Okay, let's get started then. All right, so today is our Sunday sketch day. So I try and pull a sketch, which is one of our exclusive sketches from our border buddies. So let me move over to my workspace, and here's the sketch we're going to use today. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, Trisha, I'm with you. It's I don't like going forward or falling back. I don't know. I don't like either. I just want to stay the same. So like the people in Saskatchewan get to stay the same, or Arizona. Hi, Gail. Good morning. Yes, you're lucky in Saskatchewan. Gail was just saying there's no clock change here now. You're very, very lucky. Okay, so this is the sketch for today. It's pretty straightforward. And we've got our card base, and then we've got our other little bits. And I am going to start by showing you the products that I'm going to use today. Okay. The other day, I used products from the Peaceful Place suite, and I really love it. And I thought I'm just going to keep going and make some more today, okay, with a sketch. So on page 37 of the mini catalog, we've got all the products that are available in the suite. Now you can buy them individually. You don't have to buy them as a group. But if you bought them as a group, you could pay, you could get that starter kit, $100, and you could get this whole collection plus $27 more. So that would be cool. So let's see what's in this suite, because sometimes it's a lot better to see it. You're not in person, but you know what I mean, you guys, live, I guess. Okay, so we've got the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. Doesn't that look great? It's like being on a snowy cabin for Christmas. Wouldn't that be fun? Or a ski in, ski out chalet. So fun. And then we've got the dies that go with the stamp set. Okay, so we've got Peaceful Cabin, and then we got the cabin dies. You can buy them individually, but if you buy them together, you save 10%, right? I should mention that if you join and get the starter kit, look through all the bundles, because you'll get even more value because they're already discounted for 10%, so you get even more value. Then we've got the Timber 3D embossing folder. And when it's a 3D embossing folder, it's going to be really, what am I trying to say? It's going to deeply emboss your cardstock, which is great. Okay, I'm going to show you that in a minute. We've got the gorgeous ribbon. Now this is 3/8 of an inch. It's glittered and it's white, but it's got these flecks of color. So there you can see blues and pinks, and it's just really, really pretty. Looks like snow, you know, when a crisp snow. Okay, and then we've also got, excuse me, this subtle shimmer sequins. Aren't these pretty? Look at this. You can make so many awesome shaker cards, or you can just glue them on your project. I see they're leaping out of the container here. So these, how many did you get in here? 800. I haven't counted them, so I'm just going to trust that there's 800 in here. But they're all different sizes, and there's white and silver, and so cool. And then lastly, I want to just show you the, oh, look at them. They've all fallen out. See, that's what happens when you open a container. So I've opened this container, and now I bet you more will fall out that I've opened it. So I'm going to hopefully, there we go. Now, in this case, this paper really is the star of the show, I think. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So it's 12 by 12, but I've cut it down to 6 by 12, just so you can see all the little different designs. Hi, Elaine. Okay, on one side, we have the designs that have a silver embossed look. So very, very elegant, right? So you can see them here. So gorgeous. When we flip them over, we've got really fun, I would almost call them vintage looking designs, right? Got trees and cabins. I really like the buffalo check. I think that's one of my favorites. Okay, so that's the designer series paper, and you get 12 by 12s. Okay, awesome. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat. So let's start with our sketch, and let's get our pieces ready. So here's our sketch back, and here, starting with a piece of smoky slate. So this is smoky slate. I've cut it to 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25, and that's going to be our card front. And then the sketch itself does not call for a layer, but I'm going to put a layer down. So I could have actually embossed the front of this with that timber. I never thought of that. But instead, I'm going to use a piece of the Designer Series paper. And I have actually cut it to the exact size of the card front. So 5.5 by 4.25. So I'm not leaving that little 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I want it to cover the whole front. And then I picked another piece of Designer Series paper from the pack, and I cut it to 1.25 by 4.25. So that's that piece. And then I've got this focal piece, and I'm going to do something a little bit different on that. So I'll show you that in just a minute. I've gone ahead for these pieces here, 1.25 by 3.25. I've taken a piece of the smoky slate, and I've taken the embossing folder, and I've just run it through. Now I did it on the regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because it's too big a folder to go through the mini. And so I just did that before I came on this morning. Sort of like, you know, when they do a cooking show and they bring out the finished product out of the oven. So I'm just going to cut this. This is 3.25 this way. I'm just going to cut 2 at 1.25. Okay, so let's do that. I found with this particular folder too, when you run it through, it really breaks up the fibers in the paper and makes the paper really soft and pliable, which is nice. So these are the main elements, okay, like so. Now we can start putting some of this together. So I'm going to start by gluing my DSP to this piece here. Now, the sketch, you can do this however you like. The sketch calls for it to be kind of further down the page. Does that make sense? Further down so I'm going to do that myself. Okay. I'm just going to put a lot of glue on there. This is a brand new tube of my white glue, so I might have gotten a little bit slap happy there. All right. And next, I want to glue down my 2 pieces of timber, I'll call them. Okay, so again, you're just kind of eyeballing this. There's no right or wrong, and there's no right or wrong to changing the sketch to suit what you want to use. Okay, so there we go. Looks good. And before I go further, I want to stamp a sentiment, and I'll show you the one that I've chosen because where did I put my, oh, right in front of me, of course. Here we go. So I've chosen "Your kindness makes the world a more beautiful place to be." I really love that. Okay, so I'm going to be using basic gray ink, which is the darkest of the grays. And I've been playing around with this. I stamped it on a piece of cardstock, and I tried to fit it in, and it just was too many things on the page. So I decided to go quite subtle and just stamp it right on to the Designer Series paper. Just like that. And that worked for me because the color of the paper, of course, is quite light. How's everybody doing? What's going on over here? Hi, Deborah. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for coming. All right. Now, last Wednesday, I made a card. I'll show you the card that I made just to remind you guys. And if you weren't here for the live, it's on video. You can find it in on YouTube or here on my Facebook page. I made this card, and I pulled out this kind of sparkly, spindly, web-like ribbon from the annual catalog. Here it is, metallic, what do they call it? Just metallic ribbon? I guess, metallic ribbon. And it is 1.5 inches thick, but it's just, oh, look at it. Isn't it awesome? I love this. It was originally in a catalog last year, with the Halloween selection, but they brought it back and put it in the annual catalog, and I love it. And I love it for this set because I think it looks like kind of sparkly snow. At least I think so. Okay, can you guys see? I'm gonna just maybe lower this a tit. There we go. There, we're a little bit closer now. How's that? I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to just use regular Scotch tape. And I'm just going to wrap this around the back and secure it. And you could use your Stampin' Seal. I just find that it's a little bit too messy for me. You could also use our Terran tape. But for this purpose, I just wanted to keep it in place until I'm ready to glue it down. It's really like holding it in place, okay? And the other good thing, of course, is because it's Scotch tape, if I'm a little too low, I can move it up and fix it. All right, so there we go. So now I've got my timber, I've got my sparkly snow, I've got my trees in the background. I think this looks like a great place to put a really fun Christmas cabin, right? Now, I did decide to add a snowflake from the wonderful Snowflakes. I think that I was trying to get the feeling of dimension. These snowflakes are awesome. You get 24 of them, and look at them all. There's 6 on a sheet. You can see I've used tons of them. One side is sort of a flat white, and the other side has like an iridescent, almost mother of pearl look. So I wanted to use that side, and I just wanted it to be here. Okay, so I'm going to very simply add this with just a little bit of my white glue. I could use a glue dot too, actually. My glue would actually come out. Oops, there we go. And I want to have it about here. And I'm going to be adding some more things. And actually, I was just thinking, if I had taken this card and I didn't want to do something fancy for you guys this morning, I could have not stamped up here, and I could have put a nice saying here, and that would have been a pretty card. Really simple. What do you think? I think that's a great way to use this sketch. All right, now that I've got that part done, I can actually go ahead and glue it to the front of my card, and then we'll set that aside and we'll get on to the kind of more fun elements. Okay. Okay, glue. And turn that over. And again, this is going to fit the whole front of the card. So you want to make sure you're edge to edge there. There we go. All right. So that's what we've got so far. What do we think? Good morning, Valerie. Morning, everybody. Okay. Let's set this guy aside for now. I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white. And I'm going to grab the cabin. So just the main cabin here. And I'm going to use the basic gray ink. And I find when I have a larger stamp, like this stamp will fit on the pad if I go up and down. But sometimes when I have a larger stamp, I find it easier to just very gently tap, 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 adding my ink. And I can also see, did I get everything covered without going too crazy? All right, so I'm just going to stamp this. I'm not worried if it's straight because I'm going to be cutting it out. Okay, and there it is. What a great cabin, eh? Love all the subtle details in that stamp, right? You guys see that? So you've got the different definitions of light and dark. It really does look like a cabin in the woods, doesn't it? It is pretty, Kim. I agree. All right. Now, what would make it look even more wintry is if we added some snow. But before I do that, I want to bring in my little mini cut and emboss machine. Move it up here like so. And I need my plates because I'm going to be using a die to cut out my cabin. And the one I'm going to use is this long one. Can you see that it's it just looks like a outline, and then it's got these two snowbanks kind of coming off the side, and that goes like so and cuts it out. I am going to use a little piece of removable tape for a couple reasons. One, when you're doing a live, you can't, it's not quite the same as stamping in front of you. It's at a bit of an arm's length in a way. And so I just want to make sure I don't mess up. Okay, so let's just run that through our machine. Bring it closer. There we go. Okay, here we go. And this is what you end up with. Take this off. You end up with this cutout like so. And all I'm going to do on that end is just trim it off roughly. Okay. All right. So here's our little cabin. So cute. Now, I was saying I wanted to add some snow. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do it with the shimmery white embossing paste. This is from the annual catalog. And if you've never used the paste, it's super fun. You can use it with masks. We've got lots of masks that it goes with. Good morning, Marilyn. And there's different ways. Now, if I was using it with a mask, I would use one of the awesome palette knives that we also sell, because you can, it's sort of like mudding up a drywall, really is what it's like. These are a bit big for the purpose of that I want to use them for, but I'm going to grab one, and I'm also going to grab my pick, take your pick. Now, this is really important. Keep this foil, and if you want, you can even put a piece of saran wrap over here and then really tighten down your lid, because it will dry out. If it does, just add a little bit of water. But I do it this way, and I put it back in its sealed bag. Okay, and I only open a little tiny, it's almost like a little hatch. So here's my little hatch that I would open. There it is. There we go. Sort of like my hair gel. It's the same. Okay, and I'm going to dig in there and grab some paste. Can you see how it sparkles? I hope so. Okay, so then, because I want to go into some smaller bits here, I am going to just close this up. I'm actually going to put this piece back too. Why not? Since it's in here, I might as well. I'm going to turn that, get that tightened down, and then I'm going to put it back in here, and I'm going to seal it up. Okay, now I feel like it's safe. Before I start this, I want a piece that's going to be more in keeping with my sketch, which I'm looking for, which is right here. Cool. So you can see I've got this 2 by 2 3/4. So this piece is going to be way too big, right? We don't want it to take up the whole front. I want it to fit as if it's representative of that piece. So before we put any stuff on it, let's cut this down. So what I did was I just cut, making sure I'm cutting straight here, and I cut over here. Doesn't matter if it's exactly 2 by 2 3/4. And then I wanted to cut off a bit of excess on the bottom. All right, so that's the piece that I'm ending up with. Okay, now let's put some snow on the roof. This paste takes a bit of time to dry. I don't know how long, because it will depend where you live, right? If it's a humid place, or it's, I mean, there are places that are hot right now, especially in, the South Pacific, or even in the southern states. It's nice out. So it may take longer to dry there. So can you see that I'm just putting on some snow where I think the snow would be if it had a nice crisp layer when you wake up in the morning. Snow sounds so romantic in a card. It's not so much when you're trying to commute or shovel it, is it? But it's pretty when you want to play in it for sure. Okay, I'm going to just put a little bit down the roof here. There we go. And I'm just slathering it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be. There's no way you can make it perfect. I'm just going to put a blob and then kind of stretch it out the flat part of my little pick here. And a little bit more over here. Like I said, if you were using it for a mask, it's even more fun because you just put it on like drywall or the old way we used to do wallpaper paste. Okay. All right. I think that's good. I think that we don't want to put too much on. We just want enough to make it look like it caught the... Okay. And now what I would do is take a cleaning cloth here and just take that off your things that you've applied the paste with because it will dry. Okay, now we don't have time to watch it dry, but that's for, I can make a second card with this one. So I'm going to just put this aside so it can dry. And then here's the one that I did ahead of time. And you can see how it all sparkles up. Okay. Now, I do want some trees for my project. So if I go back to the dies, there's 3 sizes of tree. I'm going to use the big, tall one and the medium one. And again, this will fit through our little guy, our little Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So let me grab the plates for that. And we've got the little one, or medium one, I guess. And we've got the tall one. And we're going to just run those through. Okay. Pretty straightforward. This is just the silver paper. It comes in a pack. There's 3 12 by 12s, and it's in varying degrees of different colors of silver foil. So you get dark, you get light, you get this shimmery one. It's really neat. So that's also in the mini catalog, you guys, if you're looking for that silver foil. Okay, so here's our bits. Here's our cabin. And let's bring in our card. So here it is. Now, we're going to want to add a little bit of dimension to this because it would be okay if you went flat, but I think it would be better if we rose it up a bit. So let's make it more of a focal, which requires some, here we go, Stampin' Dimensionals. Put those on the back. This card is so sparkly in person between this fabulous spindly webby-like ribbon and the embossing paste. It's just, oh, and also the snowflake, right? Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Okay. All right. And then we've got some trees. I don't think we need to pop these up. I think they're probably popped enough. Oop. Brand new tube, which is making my glue come out quick. Look at my tree. And my other littler tree. Okay. Pretty. We go. Whoops. There we go. All right. Okay, so there's the card, and here's the sketch. Sketch and card. So hopefully you can see all the little elements here. We've got the main card. We've got the strip of DSP here. We've got the 2 pieces that we embossed with the Timber 3D embossing folder. We have our cabin, which takes the place of the 2 by 2 3/4. And then we've added other elements. I thought this card was really pretty, and I liked adding all the sparkle with the silver foil and the iridescent snowflake and the shimmery snow. I could have added some snow to the tree now that I think about it, maybe on the edges. I'll think of that next time. So let me show you a few more cards made with the same suite. So I showed you this one. This is the one that I made on Wednesday, on our live on Wednesday. And then here's another one. Now this is called, I think, a book. Oh gosh, a book seam or a book fold. Somebody will tell me. So it looks like a little book, right? Isn't that cool? So again, we've got that shimmery embossing. This one has used the trees from the stamp set. So these trees here are actually one stamp, 1, 2, 3. And then just like the cabin, you can cut them out with the die and then place it behind this piece here. So we've got quite a bit of dimension going on here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. And then we've got this one. Now this one combines the suite that I just showed you with another product in the catalog. And it is a stamp set whose name has escaped me, but I will look it up because it's pretty. It's called Welcoming Woods. And it is on page 46. And doesn't it look fabulous with this suite? Here it is, the birch trees. I don't see as many birch trees here, but I grew up in Toronto and we had lots of birch trees. Birch, I don't know, there's something about a birch tree. I just love it, especially around Christmas, right? A white birch. Okay, so we've got our designer series paper, but check this out. Boop. I don't know what this kind of card is called. Again, someone will tell me. But it's got the sides. I don't know how else to describe it. It's got the sides. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for a sec because I want to show you another card in a minute. Okay, and then we have this one that I made on a live, oh gosh, a month or so ago. So this was another one that I made on a live. So you can find the video to make these. Okay, and then finally, this one here is what we would call a Zed fold. Americans would call it a Z fold, but we say Zed, so I'm going to call it a Zed fold card. And again, this is using another stamp set, which is that with the cabin with the reflection, just gorgeous. But all the other items are from the suite. So lots of things that you can mix and match in our catalogs, which I love. Okay, now this one here, which I can't remember the name of, so somebody can help me. Spanner card. Thank you, Jacqueline. Spanner Mo. Thank you. Thank you, Mo. And Mo made me this spanner card. My sister Mo is on this call, and she made me this absolutely gorgeous spanner card. This is using the Eden's Garden suite that's available now. It's a brand new product, and it's available now. Isn't it gorgeous? So she's got the 2 sides, and then she spanned it with this gorgeous label. Just stunning. And then you open it up, and you have this beautiful focal point. And this stamp is a distinctive stamp. So Mo is inked it up in, I believe, soft succulent and stamped it. And you get all this definition just from the one stamp because it's just the way the stamp is made. Isn't that gorgeous? And then finally, you've got the inside of your card where you can write your message. Isn't that gorgeous? Spanner card. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Jacqueline. I'll try and remember. I wonder why it's called a spanner card. Oh, well. So here's 2 examples. Open, and then open again. Okay, so really, really cool. All right, so our little project for today. Loved it. I loved it. Okay. Hey guys, back again. Yes, Jacqueline, it is an absolutely gorgeous card in person using that Eden's Garden product. She sent me a whole bunch of cards. So I've been sharing them. One every time I do a live, I share one of most cards. So that was today's. Okay, you guys. So Any other questions? Okay. Tell the frog. Somebody on my watching me on the Border Buddies Facebook group says, tell that frog to hop off. I know it did. It did. It did go, but it never fails, you guys. Whenever you go on a live or wherever you go on an important phone call, I start to get a little cough. It must be some sort of, I don't know, weird nervous thing. Although I'm not nervous, so I'm not sure. Anyway, I really appreciate you joining me today. If you want more inspiration or ideas, you can visit my blog at stampcrazywithallison.com. And I will have this card up later today with the instructions and the products that I use. So have a look there. If you would like to see my videos, you can find them here on my Facebook page, but it's a lot easier if you go to YouTube and subscribe, and you'll see all my lives over there that I've done, and they're all more in a chronological order, and they make a little more sense. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Oh, hi, Pat from Calgary. I just saw that you popped in when I was yakking. Okay, thank you. Thanks, you guys. Yes, beautiful, beautiful suite of products. Give it a try. And if I can help in any way, please reach out, and I would love to help you in any way I can. All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Happy stamping.